What is good, YouTube? Today I just want to talk about the amazing new developments within Konami itself. The fact that we have now a YCS that's pricing is still the same, but the amount to pay to go has been basically doubled. Why would this happen? How's it going to affect literally everything? Let's just jump right into it, shall we? So the first part of this is basically the um, why do this? And I don't know, maybe Yu-Gi-Oh is not really as profitable as it once was, and so now we need to increase prices for events. Potentially, in the brightest universe that could ever be, this will be able to give us better price support in the future, but I don't believe that's going to be true, and that's mostly because agreeing with the great Patrick Hoban in this one, a lot of top level players don't really become competitive players and go to tournaments for the fact of, like, for the prize support that there is. Because, quite honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh! Prize support is not very good. Uh, it just isn't. You get a lot of products, and that's it for winning stuff. Um, but people genuinely go to events for the competitive nature and desire to be more and more competitive and better at the game than they currently are. And this is fantastic because it does give us a lot more professional players and people to root for in big streamed tournaments. I always enjoy watching YCSs and things because there are a lot of players that I am familiar with in one way or another, and I like to see the same professional players like doing really well. Being consistent is a huge part of being good at any card game that there is. But I guarantee that almost all of these do not do it for, fame or price support because, again, like, it's not very huge, but potentially with the more money that's going into Yu-Gi-Oh from professional players and people wanting to be more competitive and such, going to these YCSs that are now double the price, we could get better price support. It's a hope, but I don't think it is. I think it's mostly just to make like Yu-Gi-Oh slightly more profitable so that they can host like other events and a lot more side events. I think the side events make a bit more money than the main events in recent YCSs and whatnot, but I could definitely very well be wrong in that regard. Yeah. So this capped this off with me just saying that I believe that the increase is to just make Yu-Gi-Oh more profitable. Quite a few of the recent sets probably have flopped. Let's be honest, Dune wasn't very exciting as a set. There was like maybe a couple good cards in there, only a few at best. Revolution Synchron being the best one. Shoutouts to the Buddha Warrior for letting me pull a quarter century around that. Disappointed in the crab. I thought it would do better, but it just didn't. Unfortunate. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check the Dune box opening video. But yes, hopefully the prize, the entry fee increasing leads to better price support, but I wouldn't, put my faith and hopes in that. So that leads us on to the next part. How is this going to affect literally anything and everything? So people who are trying to get into Yu-Gi-Oh may not be able to afford the price of YCSs and things. Usually they take place on the same weekends as like Comic Cons and whatnot. And this is why one reason that I think actually Konami might have like raised the price and it seemed like convention prices to YCS prices, because I remember way back when YCS London was the first one. Yeah, you had to play like 1 or 2 rounds, and you had to play like one round. You got a wristband, and you got to go to like the Comic Con like next door, and that was kind of cool. The amazing thing was the cosplayers who caught onto this realized that they could just get cheaper tickets, so they would buy the YCS tickets. They would play like one round. They wouldn't care if they won or lost. They would drop the event and then go enjoy their weekend. And it was really good for them because they just got cheaper tickets. Huzzah! Question mark? So I feel like, and then like the next year when YCS London happened a second time, the same sort of thing happened, but it was 2 rounds instead. They wanted to like kind of cut out the people like paying for cheaper Comic Con tickets, but hey, it is what it is. And I think that, Comic Cons and conventions being a weekend thing, being a certain price, they are expensive, and people saving up for them can only afford to like go to like one or two or many more. It really depends, how rich are you as a person, and so on and so on. But usually people go to like a couple conventions a year, if that, maybe just one. And I feel that like this is a reason why YCSs have now just increased, because Konami can also make that happen. It's a weekend event, good for everyone. But this does deter and defer a lot of people from participating in YCSs, because double the price is very expensive, and people will be saving for Comic Cons and conventions or whatever else that they're interested into, and it's not super worth it then if you're not going to do amazingly well. So we might see like some players decreasing in YCSs, because we've had a lot of like YCSs in the past where it gets better and better and bigger, and that's fantastic. But now we might see them getting like smaller and smaller, which is not so cool, which eventually might lead to the end of Yu-Gi-Oh. Obviously not. Yu-Gi-Oh's going to go on forever. People say like it's going to die soon, like in a year or so, but it never does. And with like the lack of newer players and less competitive players like being in to these now expensive YCSs, we'll just see like top tier tournaments with just like a bunch of highly competitive professional players, and that could be interesting in itself. But the one thing that I definitely do want to see improved is production quality among everywhere. I've always felt that like the European production quality has been so much better, and that's probably because of like the hosts like Ed Gamble and the commentators, the Italian team and the German team. They are fantastic, and I love absolutely watching them. And then you go over to America, and they ask like 4 questions to everyone, and the commentators aren't as like high energy and high enthusiastic about it, and that's just difference in people. Like, it's not a big criticism of anything. But I mean, like, World's production value wasn't very good until like the stage appeared for the finals, which was, let's have that more and more and more crazy things. Like, that would be better, but hey, it is exactly what it is. Yeah, so I think personally that, oh gosh, it sucks that the price has increased, but it's interesting in a way for what could occur. But I think you watching this, if you've gone this far, and me speaking, rambling towards you, I think we could agree that Konami may just kind of not do anything with the revenue increase and just let things be exactly as they are, which is, I don't think anyone wants it to be exactly as is, but hey, it just might be. And with that, I think it's time that I should start to get to the end of speaking, so that you can enjoy the end of this video and the little short something that comes after. So I will wrap this up nicely and then just say goodbye. Yeah, so price increase, very bad. I don't think I enjoy it, and I don't think that I'd be getting super back into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh anytime soon. I used to be a super competitive player. I have a regional win somewhere. I have YCS tops somewhere, but hey, maybe not for a while until like I start living back in an actual decent TCG country. But with that said, I hope that we get better price support and everything, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.